Morning. Here we are on the Sumida River, and we're at a little park here on the Kotoku side. I'm giving you a sweep looking down. This is the there's like Tsukuda and Skishima there, and then looking off in the direction that's out looking towards the water out in the bay towards Tokyo Bay, Toyosu. That's the Toyosu area there, and we're here because we're gonna show you a little park here with the tall ship, and we're going to be looking at the Tsukuda neighborhood. We're going to be looking at Tsukuda, and that's east of the historic area. So we're going to walk through that neighborhood. But before we do that, we're going to walk. I'm going to show you a bit of the tall ship, a little park here. Very nice park. This is a very nice park. People come and fish at this location. Any rate, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to swing around. We're going to have a bit of glare here. Let me try to get out of that, and then walk along. You really have the smell of the sea is pretty strong here. So this is a new park. This is a brand new park. We've got some, it's only been open, less than a year, I think. I think it's less than a year. I've come here a couple of times. And we've got, now you see on the right there, see there's that tall ship. And I'm going to go past it and then come up so that we can get a look at it out of the glare. Then we've got these dock area. Got a lot of garbage in the water there, unfortunately. Even here, it's not perfect. It's a pretty cool dock area. The boats more. These are the party boats. They take people up and down the river. I think there's fewer than there have been. I just wonder, some of these people, did they go out, if they went out of business in the last couple of years? It certainly have been in financial. It's been a difficult couple of years for these people. The business dried up for almost 2 years. So, yeah, I don't know if there's as many boats now. But this is the park area, new park along the waterfront here. Yeah, it's a real nice place. We got a guy fishing up here on the left. We'll see him in just a minute, and then we're gonna swing around. I think there's a stairs. I hope there's stairs here. Oh, there's stairs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there are. There are. So we'll get a nice shot there. And you're looking out. So these are islands out in the out there. I say that's Toyosu, and you're looking. That's a big canal. You see the canal. Let me just magnify that just so you can get a good shot of that. Come up in the water here. And then I'll turn right to the left here. Is going to be a bit of glare, but that's the dock of the Tokyo Marine. It's the University of Marine Science and Technology is the name in English. Anyway, and as part of the university, they have this tall ship. And let me back up out here. I'm going to go back to 1x. Okay. We go, now we're going to go up the stairs. We'll get a really nice view. And really nice view of the tall ship, and a better view of the bay. It's like 28 degrees. It's I don't even think it's 6 a.m. 28 degrees. It's already quite pretty intense. So yeah, it's really, really intense. Let's see if I can get this. If I can get this through the. I'm going to put this through the. There we go. Yeah, there's the ship. Now I'm going to try to. Yeah, let's see. There we go. Now let me try to swing this to the left. It's not working right. Oh, I guess I have to do this. Isn't that interesting? There's the tall ship. It's the Meiji Maru. The Meiji Maru. So, there we go. I think we got it all there. Anyway, there's the tall ship there. And let me back up. You can see it at least through the fence there. They're really worried about people jumping over the fence and into the university area. It's it must be a major problem with hoodlums. Here. Anyway, let me swing around. There's the northern part of Tsukuda, those residential towers there. Swing around there. It's the Aioi Bridge. I'm going to confirm this just a second here. Anyway, swinging around, nice view there. And now we're going to head over to that bridge, and we're going to walk over and we're going to do our tour of Tsukuda, the Tsukuda neighborhood east of the historical area that we walked through the other day. And there's quite a few, as I've mentioned, I've mentioned in other videos, that area is landfill that happened after the end of the Edo era. It was post-Edo era landfill, so it would be beginning of the Meiji era, late 19th century. Land was created, and if you swing across, you'll see, in fact, everything that you see right there, that's land that was created after the end of the Edo era, so beginning the Meiji era in the late 19th century. We're right in front. This would have been a rocky outcropping, and then the original historical island of Tsukuda Jima that we walked around the other day. So other than the fact it's already 28 degrees, it's a nice morning. Birds are out. There's plenty of fish. You know, it's ain't going to be the coolest of weather, but plenty of fish. So the fish are jumping. I was watching the fish jump. There's going to be plenty of insects, plenty to eat there, plenty of fish jumping, and opportunities for the birds to get breakfast here. So here we go. We're going to cross the bridge here, and other side of the bridge is the Tsukuda neighborhood. A little bit of high clouds. It's kind of, actually it feels they're blocking the little bit of the sunlight. We're not getting the full sun. Not that I'm complaining about that. Not complaining about the temperature, but not complaining about that either. It's 6:20 a.m. It's the Aioi. Is that Aioi? Bashi. Any rate, this is one of those things where I get tripped up with the and the and the So he was talking to me. You talking to me? Were you talking to me? Anyway, there we go. There's a lot of bird action here. We're going to come down. We're going to cross the bridge. Come down the stairs. We're going to go first on the on the left. Yeah, well, let's go on the left side. Then we worry about crossing. We'll cross later and get the other side. There's a number of pre-war buildings in this area, so they would be. There are a number of these, number of them, and there's some interesting views and things like that. So it's worth seeing. There's some interesting things to see in this neighborhood. In fact, we can come here. We're going to go to the left. There's a Ronaldo fan there. Aioi. It's Aioi Bridge. So that's, and this is the Ishikawajima Koen Park. We're going to come over here and then step down in to the street here. Yeah, nice. These are nice spaces. You know, you come off the bridge, come off the road, and then you got a nice, very pleasant environment. The park ends right up there. That's the end of the walkway. There, they haven't. There's some walkway along the canal, river canal, what you would call that. But not. That's something that needs to be developed. That's sometime off in the future. And we got the little stairs here, and we come down onto the street. So here now we're officially in the Tsukuda neighborhood. The first thing you see on this block, there's some pre-war. That's a pre-war see a little house there? It's a little house. That's definitely pre-war. That's little house, pre-war home. These kind of one-story home. There's some of them around, you can look up. Most of these are post-war on this block. I think there's maybe one down the block there, but won't worry about that right this minute. And we will come up. Here's a pre-war building. Yeah. Here's an example of one right here on the right. And you can see that, you've had the renovation. They put the siding up, but this is pretty classic kind of line there. Let's see if I can get it in. No, I'm going to shut this off and try and get a wide angle so you can see the whole thing. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back, and you can see the home there. In fact, both of these, that and the one little one right there are actually pre-war, and you can see the one has just had a lot of, they've complete renovation there. But this is the, not atypical pre-war home in this neighborhood. Okay, I didn't want to get the guy's face. And a block looking towards Kyusumidori. Just a little bit. is kind of an interesting, a new building. I kind of like the use of the concrete there. See that? I don't know. So maybe a lot of people might not like it, but I think it's kind of cool. You know, I forgive you if you don't like it. Now we're going to come up in a block with quite a number of pre-war buildings, and starting with the one on the right here. But I'm going to get into a better view. But first, let's show you this block of. Those are all pre-war buildings right in front. There, you got this, an example of a signboard. That's a salon, a hair salon. It says, you know, like I say, that's what they thought was modern. That's definitely what you would have addition by subtraction, getting rid of that. But they've got the entrance to the salon is there. So, at any rate, and maybe someday somebody will take that out and make the buildings look the full potential of the building. So that's a nice block of pre-war buildings there. So now we're going to swing around. Yeah, this is an example. It says Tsukuda Rest House there, and what you see, you see the how that's probably a nice Machiya style type building, but it's, you know, behind that, but they got that signboard. And again, that's what they thought was modern back in the day, was to put the signboard in front of the older building to that was the idea about freshening it up. Now it looks kind of silly, but that's what they thought back then. So that's, you know, what people thought back then is kind of the way things are now. And we got a nice little pre-war little home here. There's an example of a nice example of a pre-war home there. I like this little building. Then you got a number of these small, it's 2-story little kind of pre-war homes on this side. You can see that's a smaller one than these ones on the right there. Those are bigger homes. So we'll walk in front of these, and we've got another. There's only there's a break there. Otherwise, a number of these are pre-war, going all the way down the block. Here's another one. This is where you've had extensive renovation, but the way you know it's pre-war, you just look at you see the timbers, what do you call it? The name is escaping me now. What you're calling that roof line and the gilder? Am I thinking gilder? Is that the right word? But at any rate, you see the timbers coming out there. That's a dead giveaway for pre-war. Otherwise, it's had extensive renovation at the facade, but it's nice looking. You know, this is one of these ones that you're going to have. It's going to be around for a while, hopefully. And just giving it. This is that home was that would have been a pre-war home that was taken out for that. Maybe someday they'll take that out and build something that looks a little bit better, but that's what you have. This one is a curious building, that brownish color building. It's definitely I go back and forth to whether it's pre-war or post-war. It has the kind of pre-war look, and I suspect it's post-war. I suspect it's a post-war building, and that they, honoring the kind of, these are people that they've been more traditional. I've gone back and forth in this, but I suspect it's a post-war building. Certainly the use of the dobokuro, the window screens, is definitely a post-war style. The design that is post-war, but I would say it's a post-war building that really respects the the buildings that came before it. So that's a block with a lot of pre-war buildings. That is called Tsukuda Odori, I think, because that goes across town all the way to Tsukuda, to the main area of Tsukuda there. So the name of the street, and you have to remember, Tokyo is a city that doesn't have a lot of streets names. So that's one street that it does have a name. And this is a mostly pre-war block. Just come in here. Of course, it's the back side of these buildings there. But let's look on the other side. Actually, I'd have to say these are all post-war. All the buildings on the left side on this block are post-war. Seeing there's been a lot of building replaced, but you don't have the high rise, and I think there's kind of less development pressure than on the other side. There is, and looking down that block, it's I think it's mostly post-war. There's one or two pre-war. Let's just come in here. These are these old blocks. Remember one of the things I showed you, if you remember on this Tsukuda, the historical island, the streets are very narrow. Where this is a pre-war on the right. Let's see if we can get this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. You can see that's definitely a pre-war duplex there. Are there any others? I think the other ones are post-war. I think that's pre-war on this at the next block there, but we'll get that to there in a bit. And we'll swing around here, come back out to the main street. A little bit dark from the light. Here's a great example of a pre-war building with that's probably a post-war signboard, and I think it's kind of awful looking. Yeah, oh, that's a nice pre-war. See that on the leather green there? That's definitely a pre-war. That's a pre-war home. Nice looking home, and then they put that. Again, that was supposed to be modern. It's really, it's hideous looking, really. But that is what it is, and it's. I think if you took that out, you'd find out there's a beautiful old home underneath there. I don't know if anybody will ever do it. It's just certainly not that for the time being. That's for sure. Come around. These are all post-war. That's a post-war block. Early post-war, but relatively early in the post-war era, but post-war. And we're going to come down. There's one of the special little, most of these just end you see that? Goes up the stairs there, but it doesn't really go anywhere. There's nothing really to see going down that block. And we're turning there again. That's kind of a nothing block there, but the next block is different. First, we're going to come and show you this house. Yeah, I think a nice older home. There's a couple other pre-war buildings on this block. That's definitely a pre-war structure there. Definitely pre-war building there. And what I'm going to do now is come around and we're going to show you. First, we see the wood there in the foreground. That's let's see, I think we're going to back off as far as we can. See that house right there? That's pre-war. Definitely a pre-war home there. And this little block, there's some coffee company. I don't think they have a coffee shop here, but it's quite a nice. They do roasting. They roast on the block here. I'm gonna come in this so we can get a view of these buildings there. And that's a nice older pre-war home. It's called Live Coffee Inc. They're definitely doing roasting, as you can see from the. See that? They definitely do roasting in that building. And then there's a couple of really nice ones there. Yeah, that's very, very nice. Especially the one on the right, the second one, closest to the end of the block. I'll come down and see if we can give you a better view. I'm not sure if we can, even at the wide angle, we're going to get a great view of that, but let's come see if we can. And it's going to be pretty hard. But it's, this is as much as we can. There. Yeah, we got this old pine tree, beautiful pine tree there. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I like this block a lot. This is a favorite of mine in this part of the city, is this block. We'll come back one more time so you can get a feel for the block. Somebody's coming out there. I don't want to. And we'll swing around. There we go. I think this is another pre-war building there that's had a lot of renovation of the facade, but I think it is pre-war. That's a real nice block. I like that block a lot. That's one of these blocks that's going to be around for a while. This is, as I say, I think some of these it's going to be a long time before any of the buildings I just showed you are going to be redeveloped. So I think they're going to be secure for the time being. And let's come down to the end, because we're kind of now getting, see, there's ahead of this park here, and the beyond that is the overhead pass. That is that's Skishima on the other side. So this is the end of the Tsukuda district. It's not the historical Tsukuda, but it's still called Tsukuda. So I'm going to swing around here. This block is all redeveloped, but we're going to go. Let me shut this off here, and I'll be back just a second. Back, and we're going to come down the block, and we're going to go down this block to the right. There's a handful of older homes. You see there's a lot of newer buildings here, but there are a couple of older homes on this block. This is, if you can read the kanji, that is still Tsukuda. We're still in the Tsukuda neighborhood. On the left side here are some pre-war homes. Let me come back. There we go. Yeah, that's this two buildings here. Pre-war. Kind of like the one on the left there. But definitely pre-war. There's a few of them down the block there as well. And then here's some more. here on the left. You see that? There's a couple, that's a whole block of pre-war. Yeah. Back up because I can get down the road here. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Definitely pre-war kind of building there. There's still remnants of it, and I think it's definitely under less development pressure. It's hard to tell whether that's and here's another one on the right here. It's a duplex. Here, that's pre-war duplex there. Swing around when we come past it. Morning, buddy. There you go, buddy. How you doing? Okay, let's swing around there because I look kind of like these buildings here. There you go. I'd have to shut the camera off to be able to do the, so I'm just going to give you the up and down again. Apologize, but we're going to do it that way here. I don't want to shut it off and then go through that again, because I'm going to be going out to the street. That little poodle there is really interested in me. I mean, I'm a nice guy, so I know the doggy can't help itself. But, you know, at any rate. So, walking the dogs. I didn't get that one. I forgot about this one. There's a little pre-war home right there on this block, if you remember there. Remember that building. So, we're going to now go to the other side. The other side of Tsukuda. And, we're coming on under Kiyosumi Dori, coming up on Kiyosumi Dori here, and we're not going to make this light, so we're just going to hang out here, and we'll take the opportunity to kind of give you a feel for the neighborhood here. There's this high-rise tower there. Yeah, about 40 story. I'd say it's more than a 30 story tower. Well, I like the color. You know, I got to give it credit. The color is imaginative. I wouldn't mind to have more buildings like that on the skyline instead of the kind of dull stuff. It's typical, more typical. Across the way, that's an old liquor store. That's post-war liquor store. There, some other older buildings. There's a pre-war building, and we're going to get closer to that one. Let's. There you go. That's definitely a pre-war building there. Yeah, it's definitely a pre-war building. It's hanging in there. I don't know if people actually live in it. They're still using it. But anyway. Across the street. Get this into view. This old liquor store. Yeah, there. There we go. And I'm gonna go down this block. This is still the Tsukuda Old Dori. The Tsukuda Big Street. See how the building, there's a few pre-war buildings. A couple of real nice ones here, a couple of real classic pre-war buildings here that are worth coming and seeing. This one right here is probably one of the more magnificent ones, really. An old rice shop. There you go. You can get the whole building in there at this magnitude, so we'll just leave it at that. Got very, very, you know, and you got very nice spouts there. You look up at the spouts, very, very nice. It could even be, you know, I would say it's possible. It's even a Taisho. It could be Taisho before 1926, maybe even pre-earthquake. It's possible, but I really like it. It's a real nice one. Very nice copper clad. Yeah, that's a favorite. Now the one next to it, you see that's actually that's a post-war signboard. That's a signboard, that Bridgestone dealer. That I'm sure they, I don't think it's a Bridgestone dealer anymore, but it was done post-war. That stonework, that kind of ground stone that you had. And you see the roof. If you look at behind it, you can see behind it. It's right there. You can see the roof there. That's so you can tell it's a pre-war kind of macchia kind of building. And then they put in this. At least they did it nice. I got to give them credit for that. It's of that kind of what they did. I think they did a little bit better than was typically done. Then this is another classic pre-war building here. That's another real classic building there. They were like in the oil. I don't know if it was cooking oil. But I think it might have been a cooking oil. Could be wrong with that, but definitely it's something related to oil. But real classic. If you look let me. I think this is worth magnifying because it's very, very nice work on the Dobukudo, the copper-clad Dobukudo there. The design is quite interesting. Let's see if we catch that. Let's see if I can get it a little bit. Get you a better view of that. I don't think that made it any better. I'm gonna shut this off and come back and redo this. Be back in just a second. All right, we're back, and just one last view of that building there. Yeah, one last view there. And it's still around. Still around. That's a real classic. As I said, we got those three pre-wars, or all pre-war, right in a row there. So it's hanging in there. The past is hanging on in this neighborhood. We cross the street here, and we got a number of pre-war buildings. Probably not in as good a shape. I would say they're not in as good condition. There. There. They survived. It's a block that's mostly pre-war. You come back here, view of these buildings. come over here and you'll get, see these. That's stonework. There is post-war, but it's a pre-war building. I've got a nicer one here. There we go. Aizaimasu. Yeah, that would have been a shop at one time. There. Yeah. There, we back up there to get it as best we can there. Yeah, that's an example of a pre-war. We'll look down the block and that block is all. Is that the back of those buildings? That's what I check and see. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. No. Those are separate buildings than the one on the main street. I was wondering if those were connected. I never thought about that before, but they're definitely separate homes. You can see there is what, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 homes there down the block on the right side. So they're still hanging in there. And then, okay, this is actually on the, let me back up there because you can see there. Okay, you can see that. There we are. Sun's getting ready to come over that's another pre-war. A lot of renovation there. It says Kandri. I don't know. Are they renting it or are they selling it? I don't know what that means. It's not going to be around for much longer. Possibly, actually, they've got the Kandri sign. I don't know what that means. They're selling it though. If they were selling it, it would say something else. At any rate, here's a real kind of poor, kind of downtrodden home. In fact, the block itself is a bit downtrodden, working down that way. That's definitely a poor. That was a home that was just poor all along. It was a poor home. Okay, let me just come back up boy, they're all, I wonder if they're trying to sell this whole block. It might be. Again, we're west of the street. It's an attractive area, so, I wouldn't count on these buildings being around much longer, really, on this side. It's, they're hanging in there, but I wouldn't count on it. Let me come down the block here, give you a feel of this the feel of the block. It's probably one of the poorest, if not the poorest block in this neighborhood. On the right side here are all these. Oh, there's an old pump. Get that down there. There you go. It's another one of these pumps. Yeah, these are all pre-war. There's a total pre-war block here, and really older homes on the other side. But let's just swing around here to get a good feel for the block. That's nice, has a nice feel to it. Yeah, these all wooden. None of these ones really didn't get any renovation. It's definitely a poor neighborhood, or a poor block. And you see on the left side there, those are all the single story. They're almost like shacks, really. You'd almost would call those those kind of like shacks. You know, and the people, they're still hanging on. This is definitely a kind of poor block here. So you kind of feel like the winds of change are beginning to come, but they're hanging on. Now we're going to come out on the street here, as we've got there we have in larger pre-war buildings. These people would have been better off than the ones down the block. They would have had certainly more air there. They're not in great shape, and the people aren't going through any great effort to keep it up. Let me come down, try to stay out of the sun if I can. Let me come down the other way. Let me come down the other way. So you can see these buildings here. That's kind of a post-war block there, and this is that's sushi restaurant on the left. That building's a post-war, and but then this one here, the one right in front there, is a pre-war. They're running like a preschool there in that building. It's attractive. I think this is going to be another one of these. You can see it's all going to get redeveloped, just like what we saw yesterday. It's just too attractive a location. We're just around the corner from major train station. It's just too attractive for buildings like this to serve. I think it's just not going to survive for not too many more years. As I say, you look down this block. There's I think one or two pre-war, but it's mostly a post-war block. Looking down, there's a beauty salon down there, and you see these older, this is like a post-war. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, this one is kind of hard to tell, is it? It could be pre-war. Just doesn't feel like a post-war building. Or all these other ones looking down the block, those feel like they're post-war. There. Let me just get this block, so we get the block right here. These buildings are kind of deteriorating. Those ones there, kind of deteriorating. Let's try to go a little bit less light. Yeah, okay. That's probably a little bit better for the shot there. Yeah. I think these are all post-war. I think they're all post-war. This one's kind of a cute little, it's like an art gallery. They use it as an art gallery. It's a cute little building. There. So those are buildings. They're just not going to be around much longer. Of course, I keep on saying that, and then every time I come, they're still here. So, again, coming on. Got a couple of restaurants. I think these are post-war. But you want to see the difference, and this is this kind of nature of this neighborhood. Let's go these, and then look at the residential tower that they're sitting right next to, right there. Look at that. Yeah, that's what they're sitting right next to. So this is kind of what the space that they're competing for. It's not a, wouldn't say it's a fair competition really. So across the street here, you can see people are walking to work. There's a lot of, they're walking, probably most of these people are walking to the train station so they can commute. Oh goodness, did that? Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what might have been there. That block. Yeah. Let's see, I don't think there's anything really special. There's a pre-war. It says don't enter. I think maybe they don't want people to come in and see. There, see back there, that house. That's open, at least open that up for that house. There. At least give you a shot. That's probably as good a view as we're ever going to get. That old duplex, wooden duplex there, pre-war. Wooden duplex down the block. Kind of a mixed pre-war mostly post-war block there. As you can see, it's morning. People heading off to work. And we've got a handful of pre-war buildings here. There's a restaurant there. It's Aioi. Actually it's a kind of bar restaurant. Aioi. Let me back up here so you can get. There you go. That'd be a nice little pre-war. It might even be, I don't know, it's a pretty traditional kind of looking building, really. This is one of those ones I wonder if it's even pre-earthquake. Probably not, but nice, yeah. It's got a nice little feel to it. Another restaurant here, that's how these ones are surviving. This is not going to be a great shot, but it's a restaurant there. So there, and then I think the one to the right here actually is pre-war. I think I saw something that said it's like around 1930 is the construction date of that building with the oh yeah, it says since 1930 there, and I think I've seen something written about the building itself, dates from that. So it's probably the hair salon, you know, the salon or hair barber was in business since 1930, and that's probably when the building was built, and the families lived in the building ever since. So that's probably the story. As I say, I've seen it written. People talked about that. I've seen it written about this building, that it does date from 1930. So it's quite possible that business there has been there, and the garbage truck is going to coming right in our way. So this is what you got to put up with here in the big city. So I'm going to close this there, and we're going to end it right here. And thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.